Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm going to be jumping into a Day 1 Arena Open Sealed, Shadows Innistrad. What I'm really hoping for, and what I'm going to be really disappointed if I don't get, is I want to be able to meld in my sealed pool, and I don't want to have to use Graph Rats. So like Gisela plus Bruna. I'd even take Hanweir Garrison plus whatever the Hanweir Outcast is called. I don't even know. Are there any other meld things I can get? Let's find out. Come on, melding. I don't want whatever that was. Meld. Meld. My dreams of being able to meld have failed. Ooh, I do have Overmauled Hydra to go get Westphal Abbey. That's kind of cool. And Collective Effort's a very good card. Thalia's Lancers probably isn't going to be able to get anything, but we can hope. Let's move my head. I think in general you don't really want to be white in this sealed deck, unfortunately. I think you want to be more like a blue spells deck, which I only got one take inventory, so that's not great. I do have Confirmed Suspicions, which I like that card. It's a little clunky. I have Rise from the Tides, which is, if you're drafting blue-red spells, this is one of the best finishers you can get, but I probably don't have a great setup for it. I also have Invasive Surgery, which I think is a pretty important card. Oh, Westphal Abbey's grouped with the black cards because the backside is black. I got the Graph Rats. Did I get the other meld guy? I did. But I said that I wanted to be able to meld without using Graph Rats, so that's kind of disappointing. This thing, the new Scraff mob, is not great. It's perhaps not as bad as it looks, but it's not great. The red doesn't really seem to have all that much. Oh, I have two Gnarlwood Dryads. That's kind of nice. Vessel of Nascency, two Deathcap Cultivators. Spider spawning, interesting. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can't go and get Westphal Abbey with Thalia's Lancers because it doesn't count on the backside, I believe. So what were the white cards I liked? Collective Effort was the one that stood out. And honestly, this is a card that a big part of the value is the +1/+1 counter on each creature target player controls. So, you know, this would be great if I had something like Lingering Souls, which not that the Lingering Souls needs that much help. So not a huge draw to white. It seemed like green was my best color, and black also looked pretty good with Sever the Bloodline. I guess Collective Effort with the new Scraff mob after it's split into a bunch of zombies. That counts as a plan. I don't know if it counts as a good one. So maybe some sort of green delirium thing. This is just a good card in general, even if you're not getting the Death Touch benefit, but I think I'm probably going to be able to build a deck that is good at getting the Death Touch benefit. Hamlet Captain. I'm going to have some humans. This guy's a maybe. Noose Constrictor is going to be in. 3 Bloodbriars, but I don't think I got enough of the clue stuff to really make it stand out. I'll definitely play Rabid Bite with 2 Gnarlwood Dryads. Also, if I'm trying to do Delirium, this is a good sorcery. I'm going to probably be hurting for sorceries. Eldritch Evolution, probably not going to play with. I mean, you could, but you'd have to have something pretty special. So what do I have in terms of the fill in my graveyard stuff? Because I do have Spider spawning. I've got Grapple and a Vessel. That's not the worst. Definitely going to play the Hydra. This card's pretty good. Do I care about any of these artifacts? Maybe the Epitaph Golem. Do have Anguished Unmaking. And I have Weirding Wood and the Hydra. So I can probably play more than 2 colors if I want. So Bloodbriar, I'm going to have Vessel of Nascency, a clue from Confront the Unknown. And that's about it. Definitely want Sever the Bloodline. I guess I can also, if I splash a little bit of white, I can get the backside of Unburial Rites, which I'm going to want the Crow of Tark Tidings. Definitely want the Midnight Scavengers. I'm definitely going to play Westvale Abbey. So right now, if we're trying to do Delirium, what are we getting? How are we getting paid for having Delirium? We've got the Narwood Dryads, which are +2/+2, and Death Touch from the Cultivators. So we're not really getting paid off that much. It's going to be more like a nice to have rather than a your deck needs to get this every game. So that's another sorcery. Am I definitely playing the new Scrab Mob? Like 6 mana 5/5 is pretty mopey. They cast 1 spell. I've got a 4/4 and a 2/2. I guess it also does have the benefit that just generating like a large quantity of creatures is pretty good with Westvale Abbey. I'll probably want to play that. I think I'm going to wind up as Spider Spawning deck. Probably play Weirding Wood. Might be able to get away with only 16 lands if I have double Deathcap Cultivator, a Weirding Wood, Grapple, and Vessel can go and find me lands in a pinch. And then I think I'm probably going to be playing that. We play that. How many lands do we have right now? 8, 9, 10, 17. We're not going to play. I'll probably cut even the second planes, but let's figure that out first. Or figure out what spells I'm going to play first. So if I wanted more expensive cards, Certain Death isn't the worst. Macabre Waltz is fine-ish. It has the benefit of being a sorcery, so if I'm looking for more sorceries, that'd be fine. Thraben Purebloods is okay. Like 3/2 is below rate, but once you get up to 4/3 Menace, you're pretty happy with it. There's no way I can play this card, right? Is this a Dryad Horror Werewolf? No. I have the Duskwatch Recruiter, and that's it. How many creatures do I have right now? 11. And I'm playing Spider Spawning and Duskwatch Recruiter, so I want to just have a generally high creature count. I don't think I'm going to start with Gnaw to the Bone in my deck. I don't think my deck is that good at milling itself that I'm going to get that paid for it. Are there any white creatures I would really like to play? White offers a Bound by Moon Silver. So I could play that if I wanted another enchantment. Do I somehow have a bunch of spirits? Is Apothecary Geist going to be good? Signs point to no. So right now we've got 2 enchantments, 4 sorceries, 3 instants, 11 creatures. And I'll be good at getting a land into my graveyard with the Vessel, the Grapple, and the Noose Constrictor. It's too bad I don't have an Angelic Purge. So I'd probably like to add 3 creatures to my deck and maybe 1 spell. If I can find a way to make that work. think Macabre Waltz is going to be in my deck. Maybe, are there any red cards I should be playing? Faithless Looting isn't the worst. Don't think I'm in the market for a Neglected Heirloom. I only have one way to flip it. I guess there are cards in the history of Magic that could allow you to get the Neglected Heirloom on the front side of the Westphal Abbey, and then you could flip it, making Ormondal, but my pool is not capable of doing that. Got the Epitaph Golem, but I don't think I mill myself hard enough that I should care about that. So if I really wanted an artifact and a creature, I could be playing Field Creeper. That's not exciting to me. I think I'm going to be playing Thraben Purebloods, whether I like it or not. Can you get creatures from your opponent's graveyard with this? You can. How am I going to get creatures into my opponent's graveyard? Two of my removal spells exile, so that's not looking that good. I guess I should play Graph Rats. I want a creature and I'm playing Midnight Scavengers already. I mean, it's not even like that powerful when you get the two of them together, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. So I'm up to 13 creatures now. And I think it's just going to be... I could play Borrowed Malevolence. I think that might be the best spell. Grotesque Mutation is okay. Gavany Unhallowed is okay. I do sort of... I prioritize the 3 and the 2 mana creatures because they work with Midnight Scavengers rather than just putting random 4-drop in my deck. Don't think I have enough humans that I'm in the market for this guy. 2 mana plus the sacrificed creature's mana value. So I would need to have 4 drops to get up to my good 6 drops. And I don't like my 4 drops. There's also Certain Death. I don't know that I want another expensive card, though. I already have 2 6-drop creatures and 3 5-drops. I don't think I want to play Increasing Ambition either. Got 3 instants, 5 sorceries, 2 enchantments. I think it's Borrowed Malevolence or maybe Bound by Moonsilver, but I think I want to not play too much white mana. Maybe it should just be another land instead of Borrowed Malevolence. This is 8 green. I'm reasonably comfortable with... I think I want 9 green. These things do allow me to convert green into black. So am I going to be comfortable with only 5 actual black sources on lands? I think that's actually fine. Because if I'm able to cast my green spells, I'm going to get black mana from my Cultivator or my Weirding Wood. I've also got Vessel of Nascency and Grapple. I guess one issue is, should the Hamlet Captain be in my deck? Probably not. Didn't wind up adding a lot of humans. I think I can do better than that guy. I think Gavany Unhallowed would be better than that. I guess I didn't consider the Topplegeist. If I'm actually getting Delirium, it's pretty good. But I don't want to have to add... I don't want to play more than 2 planes, so I don't think I'm going to play Topplegeist. My deck was better at casting it. This would be a good card. I think that this is... I didn't really look at any other decks, but I don't think there's anything else that's going to be particularly appealing. By far my best card is Sever the Bloodline. So I definitely want to play that. And then I think by far my best color is green. So I guess I could look... What if I played green and I only splashed for black? I didn't play as much black as I've got right now. What would my other color be? Probably be white. Is it possible it would be red? It really doesn't offer much. I mean, it offers Faithless Looting, Galvanic Bombardment, Fiery Temper. Creatures are all pretty bad. Wish these Bloodbriars did something in my deck. I guess the Bloodbriars are really good with Westvale Abbey, but I don't know that I need cards that I need to be flipping my Westvale Abbey to enable. What kind of creatures would I get if I just went white-green, splash black? I would be able to play the Topplegeist. Town Gossipmonger is actually a pretty good card. I would be able to play my Collective Effort then. That's kind of appealing. I'd have like Thalia's Lancers and Subjugator Angel. I would be playing the Handwork Captain. So this is probably, instead of playing like Newscraft Mob, Gavany Unhallowed, the Foul Bloods, the Crow of Dark Tidings, Graph Rats, Borrowed Malevolence, and Macabre Waltz. I think I can probably make the mana work to do this. I'm going to have it's going to be a heavier black splash. Because I think I would still play all these cards. Sever is going to be a little bit worse because double black might be a little rough. Like I might be waiting until I find my Weirding Wood to be able to do that. Still need to add 2 more cards. I guess I'm getting to the point where I might be at, okay, Intrepid Provisioners deck, though. Because I'd be adding 3 humans. I'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the Midnight Scavengers. And I think I would play Bound by Moonsilver. At least one of them in this deck. I could add... We would play that. I could play Steadfast Cathar. I don't know that I want to be that beatdown oriented. Like this would be by far my worst 2-drop. I like Town Gossipmonger, even though it is kind of an aggressive card. It's pretty good on defense too, and it stays relevant till late in the game because you eventually just get enough mana that your opponent has to trade a real card with it. Whereas the Steadfast Cathar, it's pretty easy. On turn 5, they're just going to have something that can block it, and they're not going to care. Apothecary Geist is probably worse than Intrepid Provisioners. I do like having Collected Effort and Topplegeist in my deck. Need to remember to fix the lands if I'm going to do this. This kind of seems better to me. I think I improved my card quality by doing this. Probably making the colored mana situation a little bit worse. But definitely only play one swamp if I'm going to do this. Can I get by with 0 swamps? If I'm going to do 0 swamps, I should probably be looking to cut more black cards. Like I'm trying to cast double white cards in a deck with 5 planes right now. That's not a very good idea. So my options are add a land, or trim my swamp and a forest. I could cut Midnight Scavengers. It's good, but it's not that insane. Like, what if instead we did that? I think that's enough white mana to do what the deck is asking. Like, collective efforts and the Thalia's Lancers are a bit of a stretch on 7 white, but I do have the Weirding Wood. I do have Vessel of Nascency and Grapple that are going to help me fix my mana. Is this deck better at getting Delirium? It's basically the same. I think I have one more enchantment over an instant, maybe. I think my card quality is probably higher with this build. Got 3 cards that want black mana, and that's off of like 4 sources. The mana is not going to be good in this deck, no matter what I do. The mana was better in the black-green splash-white build, for sure. I think I like the higher card quality, though. Let's go with this. For people who haven't been playing Arena for the past day or two, there's this cool... Well, it's cool the first time you see it. April Fool's thing they've done. I'll mulligan to start. Okay. I think I'm going to get rid of my Intrepid Provisioner. There's also, as part of April Fool's, all my cards are damaged. I think it's supposed to be a flashback to 1993 when people didn't play with sleeves. People's cards generally weren't that messed up, although they were kind of messed up. There's some amount of truth in what they're selling us. I think I need to take the land. If they block, I'm actually just going to trade. I don't think they're going to block, and I actually think I want to deal damage. Like, trading 2 for 2 I think is fine with me. Also, since this thing taps for mana, there's a reasonable chance that they're not even going to attack with it this turn. Well, they are going to attack with it. They're dealing more than 2 damage, but it's not like I was going to block the Deathcap Cultivator with my Noose Constrictor, so it's fine that I attacked. They only have access to green mana and I guess black. That's probably not what they were hoping for. Sad. Oh, what's my bottom card? It's an Intrepid Provisioner. I guess that's probably better than an average card. I'll shuffle. I'm gonna have to shuffle this turn anyway, this next turn anyway, because I'm gonna get a land. Oh, when I was counting my black sources, I wasn't counting this guy. This guy can go and give me a black source. Should I double block this thing? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and attack just because they would probably have to top deck like a Plains in order to be able to get this Hydra out of the way. I think I just want more forests at this point. That is a spot where it'd be nice to have a swamp in my deck so I could go and get a second black mana just in case I find my Sever the Bloodline. Speaking of Sever the Bloodline, it would be nice to sever the bloodline of these Intrepid Provisioners. I could go for that for sure. Do I want to take any of these guys? I guess I'm taking Duskwatch Recruiter. Then I'm going to be casting Spider Spawning. The reason I might not have wanted to take something was specifically because I'm casting Spider Spawning this turn. Well, that didn't seem like it was starting out that well, but it really went well. Did I see anything that would make me change how I sideboarded? They do have 2 1 toughness creatures, which makes the Borrowed Malevolence a little bit more appealing. I think I'm just going to stick with what I've got, though. A Lonely Town Gossip Mongerer. Definitely going to keep this hand. But I would really like to draw Deathcap Cultivator into Plains. Opponent is now a white-blue deck. Last game they were a green deck. One thing I don't like about this format is it's actually really hard to destroy enchantments. Like, I think it's harder than it should be. But I have one of the few cards that can do it. I'm not even going to bother looking this time. Should I just transform right now? The only reason it would be it would matter is if they move the Bound by Moon Silver, but they would be doing that at sorcery speed on their turn, so I think I don't need to worry about that. Speaking of not being able to destroy enchantments, are there even any cards at common that destroy enchantments? I know at uncommon there's Mockery of Nature, the giant emerge green thing, which really is not very playable. I guess Angelic Purge at common can destroy enchantments, and it can also destroy Intrepid Provisioners. This is a pretty sad start my opponent's had. get her Foul Orchard. It'd be nice to be able to get the Westvale Abbey there, but I've got 2 black cards in my hand. So I don't think that's a very good idea. Playing a land destruction deck now. I think I'm going to Anguished Unmaking this Bound by Moonsilver that's on the Uvenwald Hydra. And I'm going to crack this clue first to see if I find something better to do with my mana. I do not. I get 7 damage from the steel, and obviously they can move this other Bound by Moonsilver onto the Uvenwald Hydra, but then they're filling up a 4/4, and next turn the Incited Rabble is going to hit pretty hard. Perhaps even lethally so. Whoa, Spellqueller. I almost on turn 3 wasn't going to attack with the Town Gossip Monger just because I didn't want it to get eaten by Spellqueller. I would not have actually done that, but I was thinking about whether or not I should worry about Spellqueller, but I wasn't going to play around a rare. I wonder if this is a format where I should be choosing to draw. Actually, I think it might be. Most people's decks are going to be pretty slow. Well, not a white-red deck, probably. Would I like to trade my Gnarlwood Dryad with Thraben Inspector? No, I would not. Considering not playing the Cultivator that turn, because I'm probably going to play a tap land next turn. So I could play the Cultivator on turn 3, and I don't think it would hurt me, but I don't know. Probably really isn't much upside to that. I guess I also got it to eat a removal spell this way, which is kind of nice. Next turn I'll probably be able to, I could Rabid Bite a 4-drop off the Gnarlwood Dryad and then get an attack in. That's awkward for me. Don't think I'm in the market for double blocking. This destroys enchantments, doesn't it? It does. I'm flush with anti-enchantment cards. Should I just kill that thing? Pitch my whole hand. I'm gonna wait one more turn. I will hold this land in case I need to pitch it. It'd be really nice to just draw planes next turn, though. It would also be really nice if my opponent just decided they didn't want to attack into my News Constrictor. Devil's Play for 5. See what the opponent's up to here, and I do not like it. I think I need to at least represent a double block this turn. My life total's gotten low enough that I'm worried about dying to flashback on Devil's Play. They had 2 incendiary flows and Devil's Play. We're up to Devil's Play for 4. By hanging back like this, I am kind of forcing them, if they want to be able to attack, they might just burn their Devil's Play on the Noose Constrictor this turn, which then I'll just Unburial Rights it again next turn. Plains. Forest. Assuming I eventually draw a source of white mana, I'll be able to use Collective Effort to destroy the Faith Unbroken. Dauntless Cathar. We're up to Devil's Play for 5. Anguished Unmaking not looking stellar here. It is a card I can just pitch to the Noose Constrictor, though. Spider Spawning would really not be a very good draw. Based on my experience this game, I don't think I'm going to board in Gnaw to the Bone, even though they are a sort of aggressive deck. The problem is that they exile so many of my creatures. Turn late. I'd be willing to go down to 3. Yeah, I'm just going to Anguished Unmaking that. Hope they don't have a third Incendiary Flow. Or a second. Well, I can't beat a second Devil's Play, so that doesn't matter. Oh no. Guess that's not that bad. Draw 9 land, 9 spells. I'm gonna do this just to get out of burn range. I do have like all the sweet plays with collective effort and spider spawning, but this gets me out of them top decking incendiary flow or another Ember Wolf, something like that. So this is more of a beatdown deck. I think instead of Anguished Unmaking, I'm just going to play Puncturing Light. Could have Grotesque Mutation in my deck. I certainly would do that if it was more castable, but it really is not easy to cast. Could have Gnaw to the Bone in my deck, but like I said, they exiled so many creatures that first game. I think I'm gonna board in a Swift Spinner for a Provisioner. They had a Dawn Griff, and they got the 1/1 flyer from the Cathar. I'm going to play it like this. In addition to the 2 incendiary flows, they also had a Bound by Moonsilver, so really it seemed like most of my creatures, if I was putting them into play, a lot of them weren't going to wind up in my graveyard. Like if I had maybe one more Grapple with the Past, I would definitely have Gnaw to the Bone in my deck. But as it stands, I think Gnaw to the Bone is going to be like gain 8 life for 6 mana too often in this matchup. Swift Spinner also has the advantage that it has flash, so it will get to block before they get to use all their sorcery speed removal. Kind of all in on the Swift Spinner working this turn. If it somehow doesn't block and I don't top deck a spell I can cast, probably gonna die. If it gets to eat the Dawn Griff and then it gets Incendiary Flowed, that'll be okay. Spider spawning not looking exceptional here. Down to 7. I'm probably going to go down to 4. Unless I draw something I can Rabid Bite with. That's not something I can Rabid Bite with. They can't possibly be considering sacking the Neonate, could they? It gives me back the Swift Spinner. It's kind of hard to see how that would be worth it. Not great for me. Seems like I'm very likely to die to an Incendiary Flow or Devil's Play this game. Hasn't happened yet, though. I don't know anything about the order in my deck. Just decline. Who saw that coming? I certainly did. I think I'm gonna still go with no changes. Just hope to not get farmed by Faith Unbound as much as I did. It's a better start than I've had. I will trade my Town Gossip Monger for your Devilthorn Fox. I'm willing to do it. Certainly not going to take damage there. And I think that the Cultivator is going to be better than the Gossip Monger going forward. I do have some expensive cards I can still draw. I'll actually probably be making tokens with Westville Abbey this game. I've been holding this in my hand until I'm going to use it, or until I'm really going to need to tap it for mana, which I think is a pretty important way to play with that card. Another important thing to, well, I guess when I make the Ormondal, I'm going to be sacking the thing that has Bound by Moonsilver on it. So we don't need to worry about that. Bound by Moonsilver moving. I'm not going to trade with the Dauntless Cathar here. If they attack with the Neonate, I'm going to... double block it. I think I should double block that. Five damage is a lot. And the Westvale Abbey, like, as long as my life total stays high enough that I can keep activating it, it's going to continue to be pretty powerful. I'd like to draw a spell. That's a pretty good one. Going to try to get... I think they're probably going to flip Conduit of Storms this turn. So I'm going to just make Normandal token. Not even going to block the Neonate. So I don't really want to... I could make a token and double block it. But I don't think I want to trade. And then I'm expecting to collect it after next turn. Okay. I thought I was going to get the Conduit of Storms, but getting something else instead, that's fine. Who do I want to have untapped? Certainly the Noose Constrictor. I think the Noose Constrictor and the Deathcap Cultivator. Question is, should I double block the Conduit of Storms? I don't hate that as an idea. Forces them to spend 5 mana to flip it this turn. Even if they have Incendiary Flow, if they Incendiary Flow the Noose Constrictor, I'm still just going to be able to trade with Conduit of Storms because they don't have enough mana to both play and flip. Yeah. I can actually, if I find a creature, I can pitch it to the Noose Constrictor to save my Cultivator, which I'm not going to do because I'd much rather have Uvenwald Hydra. They have Incendiary Flow. They have Ember Wolf. Okay. Am I willing to trade the Duskwatch Recruiter with Ember Wolf and Neonate? That doesn't sound like a great trade for me. This match has had some good games. Okay. I'm gonna get back Noose Constrictor and Duskwatch Recruiter. Unless, do I have Thalia's Lancers down here? Intrepid Provisioner. That is not as good as Noose Constrictor or Death Cap Recruiter. Duskwatch Recruiter. Perfectly fine hand. I did choose to be on the play again. My mind was still in the white-red matchup. Choosing to be on the draw is occasionally the right choice, but it's never really the right choice by all that much, I would say, even in the spots where you would want to do it. Whereas there are spots where choosing to be on the draw is quite bad. So I think you should try to err on the side of being on the play. So I don't really feel that bad about having just chosen to be on the draw. They did cut me off of black mana by killing the Deathcap Cultivator, but I can grapple with it, past it back. If I feel like I'm going to need Sever the Bloodline, which obviously at some point in this game I'm going to want to cast Sever the Bloodline, but I could wait a little bit, I think, to see if I need the mana from that Deathcap Cultivator or if I draw a different source. Really wish I had a Terrarion. One Terrarion in my pool would have been nice. Looks like we're getting the Cultivator back. Guess I can't even... Guess I should do this now because it might turn on Delirium. Everybody keeps exiling all of my creatures. Don't they know I'm trying to use spider spawning? For people who have heard of spider spawning, like, because people talk about it a lot in the original Innistrad drafts as being, you know, the archetype to draft. And if you're playing this set and you don't feel like it's living up to your expectations, the thing is, in this set, there's a lot of removal that exiles. And there aren't that many tools to self-mill yourself, so it isn't as good as it was in original Innistrad. It's still sometimes fine. I'm gonna be... Oh, man. black mana. My mana base is getting me here. Is this all of the black spells in my deck that I've drawn? I can't even produce untapped black mana next turn because I can't. It's just the Foul Orchard at this point. I think I'm gonna lose this one. Clear Shot, Sever, Incendiary Flow, Galvanic Bombardment, and the Spirit of the Hunt is a good card to know about too. A Decimator of the Provinces, that's going to kill me. This card has Flash. But they did it because they wanted to flip the Duskwatch Recruiter. That was a good play. I don't think I... This is certainly not the kind of matchup where I want to sideboard into more consistent mana in a less powerful deck. Like, they seemed like they actually had a, you know, more of a slow grindy deck as well. I just need to hope to not draw all three of my black cards while having my only source of black mana die twice. Again. Decimator of the Provinces. I do have Anguished Unmaking. Not that, you know, it's going to save me if they have a Decimator of the Provinces with a bunch of other creatures in play, but it could maybe save me if I have a high life total and they only have 2 or 3 creatures. That's not good enough. Alright, that's better. I'm very jealous of their Terrarion. Not a great exchange for me. I think I had to do that. I feel like I'm already doomed, though. Mulled on the play into a hand that had a bunch of stuff I can't even cast. I'm gonna hope to draw planes next turn. And if they Galvanic Bombardment this, even then that wouldn't... That'd be bad, but... I could still hope to draw planes. I could still hope to draw a double white card. Get this beatdown going. This card is so good. I do have Anguished Unmaking and Collective Effort, though. I am actually capable of destroying it. Wow. Wonder why they didn't sack their Terrarion. That would explain it. think I put a forest on the bottom. I did. I don't want to draw a forest. I'd like to draw Weirding Wood. And sack my clue into, I don't know, Vessel of Nascency. Are they grappling back? Land. They may have all the card drawing engines, but I do have a 4/4 first strike. And they whiffed. I like whiffing. Guess I might as well play that. I don't really think I'm very likely to spider spawning for one, but if I draw land, maybe I would decide to do it. I'm certainly going to want to get up to 7 mana in play so I can eventually spider spawning. Don't have Sever the Bloodline, please. Eternal Scourge. Okay. So if they block with that, it'll just be in their graveyard. That's fine. They do get to chump, get a card, and get a 1/1, but I think it's better to attack than not attack. Like, I don't think I'm going to beat them to death with just this 1/1 Topplegeist. Could really go for some way to turn on Delirium, Grapple, or Vessel. They have Devil's Play too? Jeez. Not fair. Not fair at all. I'm gonna do this now just in case. Find another Narwood Dryad. It's Town Gossip Monger. They probably need to kill the Duskwatch Recruiter. Or they at least want to kill the Duskwatch Recruiter. They have a Kindly Stranger to do it. Not nice. Not kind at all. Don't want to flip the Crawling Horde Howler back down. I want to take 4 damage here. I can take it once. All right, we're beginning to get a bit of a plan. Rude. You have double black. They sever the provisioner and attack me with everything. I'm gonna die to the devil's play. I don't think there was a way out of this for me. This is the game that started with me discarding my whole hand in Noose Constrictor. It's kind of actually gone better for me than I thought it would. Maybe I wasn't supposed to put the +1/+1 counters on everything. That's not going to save me.